Welcome to 2 Cents Short of a Dollar, the show where we give our 2 cents and keep it 100. We are your hosts, Mo, Tizzy, and Rue. We're going to talk about an assortment of topics, but today we kind of want to stay in the sports world and talk about some things that's been going on in sports. Starting off with, I know PBC just dropped that new schedule. So definitely when I looked at it, I thought the schedule was fire. So I kind of want to hear what you thought about the schedule and talk about some of what's your most anticipated upcoming fights.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I think they're gonna have, a variety of fights coming up. Let me go ahead and actually just share that right now.
Yeah.
A
Pull up the
lot of
schedule.
y'all.
Let's take a look at it. Yeah.
So we see here we got, just this past weekend we had Brandon Figueroa versus Mark Masayo. We already seen kind of the outcome of that. Brandon
Yeah,
winning.
Messiah took the L.
Yeah, he definitely. Then Jarrett Hurd. Jarrett Hurd, man,
He
took
got
another
stopped.
L. He's been
Yeah.
taking a lot of L's recently. But against
So
Mondo.
what do you think about Jared Hurd? Because at the time, remember, he was kind of the man at 54. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, at one point in time, I'm not gonna lie, Jarrett Hurd was considered to be one of those contenders that can potentially beat. They had him beaten, like potentially overthrow Jermell Charlo. At one point in time, even though there's some little more people probably leaning towards Jermell, but just the fact that he was up there contending with even Harrison's,
Yeah.
Lubin's, and now it's just like this guy can't even catch a break
But
because he was considered one of the biggest 154 pounders, during that
he is.
time. But I just think
But
he's a shell of who he used to be, and I feel like his style, like that curl up style, trying to
yeah.
bang, just doesn't work for him anymore. He hasn't really expanded on his tools, on his skill
Yeah.
set. So,
And then remember at 154, he was there when both Charlos was there, when Big Charlo was there and Jamel was there before Jamel really got
yeah.
on the titles. And Jared Hurd was the one, before he took that L to J Rock. So do you
Mhm.
think J Rock like broke him, or do you think he was never really it?
I think both can be true. I think it's a combination of both. I feel like with J Rock you know, just putting a clinic on him, I think
Mhm.
it revealed two things. One, potentially that Jay Hurd was not up for the challenge, especially when you're fighting against elite level talent.
Yeah.
And he was always the one dishing, but clearly you could tell he can't really take the punishment. Especially against active fighters, he don't really let his hands go as much, especially when he's going higher in competition. And also I think it just that fight just took a little bit out of him, and he kind of jumped right back in the ring to kind of just try to get back and without fixing the things that he needed to fix. Sometimes it just
Yeah.
requires you to go back to the drawing board, really try to reinvent yourself to a certain extent. And I don't think he really did that, him or his team. So yeah, I think it's a combination of both for sure.
Okay, cool. I'm not gonna let Jared Hurd take up the show, so I'm gonna get into it.
Yeah.
So it might be some of them on this list. It might not even be in the PBC world, but
Yeah.
what are your five most anticipated upcoming fights?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say for sure we have Tank versus Ryan, right? Um,
Let's see if we can do it in order, because I know that's probably at the top of the list. So if you had to start from, let's try to work our way down. Five. I know we don't got it written down, so it might be a little hard, but let's try to go like from 5 to 1.
5-1.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So because I was doing it the reverse way. So um for y'all out there, y'all already know what my number one is now. But I would say for 5, I would probably say that's a good one. I'll probably say Harrison Tim Zoo
Okay.
is my 5th. My 4th will probably have to be. I want to see how Chris Colbert come back. I want to see how he
Oh,
returns.
I'm
Right.
interested
So
in
I
that
want to
fight.
see
Yeah, at a
Chris
new weight
Colbert
class.
and Jose. Third one is the Josh Taylor and Teofimo. Then I got Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. That's my second, and Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. So that's my 5.
I
What
like
about
it.
you?
I
What's your
like it.
5 looking like?
So I didn't have the Colbert Valenzuela fight. I don't think it's gonna make my list, but I really do want to see that one as well, because they're
Mhm.
both coming back. They have something to prove, right? They both
Right,
coming off losses where they were the favorites, right?
right,
They were the odds-on favorites, and they both
100%.
lost. I think in very embarrassing fashions for both of them. So I really want to see that. I think they got something to prove there. But for me, number 5, I would say it's the rematch between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. I want to see that
Okay.
again because I'm of the notion that I thought Amanda Serrano won the first fight.
I agree.
But so I want to
I
see the
agree.
rematch. I want to see if anything's going to be different because her last fight, I don't think her performance was as good as the Katie Taylor fight, but she
100%.
could fight to the level of her competition, right? So I'm kind of dying to see that one. For me, number 4, I'm gonna go Imantas Stanionis and Virgil Ortiz.
Okay. Oh, I actually forgot about that one.
Yeah,
That's a good one. I forgot about that one, but yeah,
they're gonna be coming forward. It's two guys. They're not hard to find, right? It's
right.
not too much peekaboo. It's not too much elusiveness. You know where to find them in the middle of the ring, banging it out. So I want to see that one. For number 3, Lomachenko, Devin Haney.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot that one. Well, let's go with announced fights.
Okay.
Well, no,
okay.
matter of fact, we can't even do that because I did the Josh Taylor, and though they're about to.
The only reason I'm like, because I'm kind of with you, things that I think are gonna happen for certain. I don't know if you saw it. Might have been Fight Hype who had it or Fight Hub, but did you see Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson run into each other?
No, I did not.
Okay, I mean, you can pull up the video while I talk about it. Yeah. So, and then Lomachenko told Shakur essentially like, Shakur was like, "Oh, when you fighting?" Lomachenko was like, "Come on, man, you know when I'm fighting." So Shakur was like, "Nah, what you mean?" Lomachenko was like, "You know when I'm fighting, because they're on the same side of the street, Top Rank. So I'm sure they hear what's going on." And Lomachenko confirmed May 20th is the fight. Yeah. So if you have the video, I'll kind of like pause my list and you can kind of pull it up. But
let's check out the video. Let's check out the video.
Yeah, let's see that one.
All right, so we got.
I'm sorry, the boxing voice. I'm sorry, I said Fight Hype or Fight Hub. Let me give them their credit. It was the boxing voice.
Okay. Ran into each other, which is expected. Top Rank, but interesting. Good job. It's funny how they like both trying to walk at the same time in that little narrow.
When you fight?
You know when I fight.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know. What date?
I fight with Haney, May 12th.
May 12th?
Yeah. Okay. May 12th.
I know you. I thought it was like May 20th.
You May 20th?
May 20th.
No, May 12th. May 20th. Yeah, sorry.
See,
sorry.
look.
See.
Well, it's not my native language.
He said English is his native language.
Yeah. Loma was right. Shakur, you did know in a way, right? You did know when I was going to fight, but it's funny how
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of feel like they know. I think they're just waiting on the venue because you kind of know how Top Rank's been getting down.
Absolutely.
They're like outsourcing their fights. This one might be in like Saudi Arabia. They're really big on international thing right now when it comes to their fights. So I think that's the last thing. But it kind of sounds like everything else is hashed out. Of course, I wasn't in the room, so I don't know for sure. But that's number 3 on my list right there. Fights that one seems, like it's in place. Number 2, I would agree with yours, which was Benavidez and Plant. Just can't wait to see that. The bad blood, the rivalry. It's a fight that's been cooking for a long time. I didn't really think we would get it, so I can't wait to see it. And then number 1, Ryan and Tank. Ryan and Tank. I think that's probably the consensus right now.
100%.
Which, I mean, I don't want to go too far off the rails, but it just makes me think, and I kind of want to hear what you think too. If they can get Ryan and Tank done, Spence Crawford, man, what's going on there? Like, I don't want to get too deep into it. I know
we can definitely, have a whole 3-episode podcast on the Spence Crawford situation. And I agree. I think if Golden Boy and PBC can make that fight happen between Ryan and Tank, especially at the height of their careers, right? You can definitely make the Spence Crawford fight. And I'm not saying that, Ryan Garcia and Tank are on the same level in terms of skill,
right?
Crawford and Spence, but in terms of popularity, right, amongst boxing fans, but also kind of the casuals, I think that they're not too far apart from one another in terms of if you couple them together in a way, right? Because I'm sure Ryan Garcia kind of came in a space or came in a time where he's more in a space that leans towards the YouTube space, right? For the young kids, he leans into that space a bit more compared to your average boxer. He's very popular, especially amongst the casuals. You see him all the time. You know, when it comes to boxing, hardcore boxing fans, then clearly Tank is the A side. He's more popular. His name is out there. And then compared to like Crawford, for instance, Crawford can't really sell, but we as boxing fans know that he's one of the greatest of all time. And you have Spence, who's proven himself to be the A side, consistently sold out, right? And of course, you see, I mean, man, if you filling up, you know, that Texas stadium, you're definitely a draw, right?
Right. I agree.
You know, I just feel like that fight makes all the sense in the world. Of course, we do know who's ultimately holding up that end of the fight. But I think that they can kind of come to, my belief is eventually I think they'll be able to come to a consensus on making that fight happen. It's just a matter of just when. That's just what I believe.
Yeah. Hopefully this year, you know, Errol just had his 33rd birthday, so neither of them are the youngest guy. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So hopefully they get this one done soon.